Here on the homestead, we have a pretty good sized, I guess you would call it a mullein patch. We've got several plants here, some behind me, over there. Even got some little guys down here in the back, a couple little ones here. And it's late summer, so it's high time that I get to harvesting these guys. And I start making use of them. A lot of these, their leaves have already been eaten up quite a bit by bugs. So I'm going to get what I can and, and harvest the leaves, make those, put those into jars along with the roots. We're going to dig a lot of these guys up from the roots, and we're going to make some tinctures. I'm going to try out some of that. Um, Also going to be taking and collecting some seeds so I can start growing a bigger patch next year, hopefully next year. Supposedly, it could take a few years for the seeds to actually grow, but I'm going to save a bunch of these seeds, probably from this guy, that guy, and this guy, depending on how many I get from each. And then I think I'm going to disperse them over in this area over here. If not there, then it'll be back over here on the other side of the truck. You can't see it right there, but it's a nice semi-flat area. Um, and the reason why I'm not just going to let these things completely go to seed and just blow where they want to is because right here is the driveway. Another 30 feet or so beyond that is the property line. And I'd love to keep as much of this on our property as possible. Nobody's occupying this property next to us, but, it's still, it's their property. I'll respect it. Don't want to go over there unless we have to. So let's go ahead and get started on these guys. I'm going to dig them up, rinse them off, and I'm going to hang them upside down overnight. Let them, dry out a little bit. I don't know if that'll help or not, but it seems like it's a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that one over there. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 heads on it at the very top, and it's got at least 2, if not 3, growing out the side down here. So that one's the one I want to do the most of, and keep that one, and then these 2 here, just because there's multiple heads on them. They're giant plants. I'm going to be harvesting some of these guys, some of these larger ones here for a neighbor of ours. They're going to be doing the same thing. And if all this turns out, this might be something I would do for some extra cash on the homestead. So if you're interested in mullein tinctures, let me know. I might be willing to make some up and ship some out to you. Let's go ahead and get started on that guy over there first. All right, so I do have a jar here, just in case I come across some actual flowers. There's not a whole lot on here, so I might go ahead and pick some of these guys off. Now, these are great to put in teas, or you can add them with your tincture. They're all really strong, so those are all dried up. Now, all of these plants are second-year plants, so they're not going to come back. That's why I'm so interested in just harvesting as much as I can from them. Some wild lettuce. I think this is called spiny lettuce. Another thing it's good to make tinctures out of. And I've also got St. John's wort. Got a bunch of St. John's wort out here. That's going to be one of the next things. So I got a paper bag. Go ahead, snap the tops off. Now I did have a pair of little handheld clippers, but I don't know where they're at right now, so I'm just gonna go with these guys. break these guys in half. Okay, maybe I'm gonna have to cut them. Yeah, time to sharpen these guys. Or just use them the right way. There's even still a couple flowers on these guys. Check on these guys in the morning as well. See if any more flowers have bloomed. Well, looks like we might already be getting seeds off of there. Off of this guy anyways. Yep. Now the seeds, if you've never seen them before, I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to see these on camera, but they look like ground up peppercorns. So, I've already got seeds going. And then when you're supposed to plant these seeds, is in the fall. I've heard conflicting stories, either A, before the first frost, or B, after the first frost, but before a deep freeze. And then what you do is you kind of rough up the ground with a rake. You spread the seeds out, then you kind of stomp on them. Don't actually bury them because they need light in order to germinate. Hopefully I can actually dig this thing up. The ground we have is extremely hard, but it might be softer in this area because we have the driveway here. We did a bunch of work. Yeah, definitely going a lot easier than I thought it would. There we go. Come on. It definitely has a good hold of things. Really? Shovel just popped. Jeez. Yeah, look at that sucker. Whew. This is pretty amazing. Whew. So there's one. Okay, so next we go with this one over here. All right, same thing with this one. Lop these top ones off. This one doesn't have any growing out the sides. If I can, I'm going to leave these smaller ones here. There's 3 other ones here. 1, 2, and then the third one. Wouldn't leave those, just let them sit and seed where they're at. And we'll cut you there and there. And that's once again. See if we can get under this guy. Like I said, I'm going to try to leave the smaller ones, but I don't know how successful I'll be, because they may all be growing together. Well, yep, those guys came up. Jeez, look at that. Wow. Alright, so that's two. Those are some big roots. Alright, next one is this one. I'm almost thinking that this right here would probably be the best area. You got some deep dirt. Over there is pretty rocky. No, I'll look when I'm done. Wow. Anybody want any seeds? I think I'm gonna have plenty. You know, the more and more I look at these, the more and more I might just keep the roots themselves, because a lot of these are really eaten up. If I keep the roots of these guys, I'll end up harvesting some of these smaller ones, because they do have a lot of good leaves on them. I mean, that one's cracked, but that's just because of the wind. Oh well. We shall see. We'll starting this video now. And then tomorrow morning, when I actually make the tinctures, we'll continue recording. Alright, so we got those ones. We'll go ahead and get 4 or 5 of these for the neighbor, because I don't know how many they want. Nice. Ooh, long root. Now I did notice we have a few dried stalks from last year. You know, the ones from last year were super tiny like that guy. And there was only 4. So this is definitely a surprise. We got 2 for 1 there. I already noticed some blossoms here and there, so I'm gonna harvest what I can. I got those guys, those roots. I'm going to take that guy, I think. Let's see here. I don't mind if they're tore up. When the wind blows, you end up having cracks in them, because they would literally fall or fold and develop cracks along the sides. So I don't mind that. Just if they're eaten a lot by bugs. It's kind of a hard decision. I might just take most of them. And if I don't use them all, then I don't use them all. I'll dry them and save them. I also have a plant over there which I'm gonna go check out right now. I'll bring you guys. So we have this little guy. I mean, he's super short. He's 4 feet, something like that. But he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 stalks growing out of him. And if I choose to leave this area to the mullein, which actually I might, this whole area looks nice and dirty, sandy, not sandy, but all the rocks start over there. All this is nice and soft. So I might just leave this guy, just harvest some flowers off of him, and leave the seeds here. Get all this stuff cleared out. Those are all going to be cut up, made into fence posts. Most of them are fairly rotted, but we do plan on having animals. Sorry, I have it down. I'm trying to. There we go. We do plan on having animals, so that'll save us a bunch of money on fence posts, because each one of those will be 4 posts. Those are 16 feet long. So we'll get those guys cut up and even spaced out where we need them. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and leave this guy alone. Well, as far as harvesting his flowers and roots. You know, plenty of seeds from here to there as it is. Because I don't know if I told you, but supposedly there's, thousands of seeds in here. Because this is technically an invasive species, like a lot of things are in this country. There we go. All right, so yeah, I'll go ahead and leave that guy alone. We'll go back over here. Here's the emergency firefighting setup for the driveway. Pretty neat setup, simple. Get those flowers in here. It's not a bad little stash. I don't know how well you can see that in the sun. Almost covers the whole bottom. But I'll keep this and just keep harvesting flowers from now until they stop producing. And so for me, I think I will go ahead and take like this guy. This guy will probably go with me. So we'll go this guy, that guy, and this guy here. I'll probably go ahead and leave the rest, because there should be plenty to make 2-quart jars, maybe 3. But I might take the 3rd jar and do some St. John's wort. So, oh well. All right. Man, that was a deep one. Supposedly, the sticks themselves, after they dry, they make very good walking sticks. So these larger ones over here that I harvested, I'm actually gonna see if that's true. I'm gonna let them dry, make walking sticks out of them. Which, considering these guys were from last year, and just the fact that they're still standing, I mean, that's fairly stout. Maybe even, bow and arrow. Yeah, maybe. What do we got in the middle here? Ah, almost looks like cork. Interesting. I wonder if they make anything out of that. Okay, anyways, enough ADD. Back to work. And you're already halfway up, so I'll take you anyways. Not sure what happened to this guy, but he already has his centerpiece cut off. Actually, this guy's got 1, 2, 3. So he's got several stalks coming up, so I may just leave him. Oh, and here's a first year mullein right down here. In case nobody's seen a first year, that's what a first year looks like. And get this guy in this hole back here because I don't want him to be all messed up for next year. See if we can do this and hopefully it'll be okay. Make sure there's no first year mullein down here. I gotta be careful of. Yep, there is. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that guy. I do not want to take first year mullein because first year mullein you don't do anything with. At least, up until fall. When fall comes around, I think you can harvest the leaves off of those, but not all of them because they need the leaves. So leave that guy just because he's so close to the first year. That guy's left. That guy's left. Take this guy. This guy's not horrible. Here we go. All right. I'm going to take a quick look at all these guys. Take off whatever flowers there are. And then I'm actually going to take these and go right over here to the firefighting station and use some of that water to rinse off these roots. All right, so speaking of ADD moments, I was just transferring water from a large tank, a 200-gallon tank, to a smaller tank for just watering flowers and stuff like that. I forgot all about it. So now, transferred something like 40 gallons into the small tank, started overflowing, and probably lost 50, 75 gallons of water just now. It's kind of frustrating, but I'll have to take the truck in next week. We have a IBC tote that we fill with water pretty much every week during the summer. We have a good place that lets us do that, so I'll just do that. I got to get these guys rinsed off. The sun is going down, which if you've never seen the sunset here, check that out. That is absolutely beautiful. Playing with the settings here on the camera. There you go. That's pretty much how it looks. So beautiful. Okay. Tank that I was transferring from is just like this one. They're really similar. If it's true about them being a good walking stick, this would be a nice one. This is a good 1.25 inch diameter. It's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, this one here, it's really eaten up. I don't think I'll be able to save much off of this guy. I'll probably do is hang this guy up, let him hang for the night, and then just harvest off what I can tomorrow. And then after I harvest them, then I'll rinse off the leaves. This guy's pretty bad too. I know to help these guys, like save them, you trim up the bottom few leaves. That'll help keep the bugs from crawling on them. Maybe I'll try that next year. If I'm going to turn this into a source of income, I'm going to need to do something. Yeah, sun's going down pretty quick. I don't know how much more of this is going to show up on camera. All right, but now I'm going to hang these guys up. All right, now as you saw, the sun's going down, so I don't know how much longer I can record. It's starting to get kind of dark. But basically what I'm going to be doing, I'll take 2, 3, or 4 of these, bundle them up together, and hang them up on the eaves of the old pickup camper. And I'll just run them all along here, let it hang for the night. I don't know, there's no real reason for that. You know, it might help them dry a little bit. And then tomorrow morning, go ahead and start harvesting them. Got the supervisor, got the monster. Last but not least, the big boy. It looks like you can see him fairly well still. Look at the size of that. It's 2 fingers, 3 fingers. That thing is huge. I think it's like that big around. Those roots are insane. But anyways, here we go. All right, so it's been a couple of days. And the reason why it's been a couple of days is the next day, after I dug these out of the ground, I had another priority come up. So we're left with dried up leaves. So the leaves themselves can't really do anything with. The seed pods are starting to dry out pretty good, so we'll get some seeds out of there. I can, however, harvest the roots and get them cleaned up and use those things as the tinctures. We have these plants here. The biggest one that was hanging there fell just because it was so freaking heavy. But yeah, that right there is going to be the plan. I'm going to cut these down, cut the roots up. I'm going to clean them up. I also grabbed some leaves, some second-year plants, some first-year plants. I looked around, found out we got like 5 first-year plants out there. So I'll harvest some leaves from those guys. And those ones I'm just going to dry and use as teas. These ones here are going to be the tinctures. I also have some blossoms. I've been picking blossoms off of them. So I'm not sure if I'm going to just use those for teas or if I'm going to add them to the tinctures. Might add them to the tinctures. But anyways, go ahead and reach up here and start cutting these guys down. And we'll take them over there to the workbench and cut the roots off. All right, so we got this guy. This is the biggest one. I'm going to cut the roots back as much as I can with this guy. We have the Sawzall. And we'll cut it like right here just before the stalk starts. And we still have the roots. We'll see what we can do here. Don't want to end up losing any of these. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the rest of these. I'm gonna cut all these guys off, and they're gonna go into the compost bin, so they won't, at least won't go to waste. But check back with you here in a few minutes. All right, so got them all trimmed up. That looks, looks like it's plenty for a couple quart jars. I'm gonna rinse them off twice. First time's gonna be outside to make sure all the dirt and everything's off, and anything that was on these blades. Make sure you get all that stuff off, and then lay them out and get them dried up real quick and put them in jars. And that might be enough for 2 quarts. We'll see. We'll fill one up, see where we're at. All right, I'm gonna go rinse these off. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let these roots dry out a little bit. The less water, the better, of course. And once these guys are moved, I'll spread out all these leaves. So you really don't want them laying on top of each other. You can definitely tell the difference between first year and second year mullein. It's a lot fluffier, a lot more hair on the first year. All right, well, that's good enough for now. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let these guys dry out. I'm gonna go take the leaves off the other mullein plants and get those in the compost, and then we'll come back here and finish making the tincture. All right, so I let these guys dry out quite a bit. Yeah, they're pretty good. So now I'm gonna grab clean jars. We got 2 jars. We're going to just fill one for now. Looks like we are going to have enough for 2. Looks like there's going to be enough left for 2, and then some left over maybe. And I've decided with these blossoms, flowers, I'm going to go ahead and put these ones that I have in these jars, and then, and we still have plants out there blooming, so be able to get plenty for teas. All right. Now to make these, I just got some generic vodka, 80 proof, 40%. Pretty much going to fill this all the way to the top. My first time doing this, so hopefully you have enough alcohol. Alright, so I don't have enough to do any other tinctures. Well, maybe a small one. Just thinking about doing some St. John's wort. And I might just wait till I get another bottle. So I'm going to put the lid on these guys. Alright. These guys will go into a cool, dark place for 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8. That sounded like 68, sorry. And it should be ready. So let's see here. It's end of August, so September. So the end of September, the end of October. So by the time November gets here, these things should be ready. Let's go ahead. So yeah, these guys will be tea. Now, in case you don't know, supposedly Mullein, since I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to make claims. I'll just say supposedly or allegedly. It's good for congestion, like cough and cold kind of stuff. Put it in a tea, or like put it in water for a tea or tincture like I'm making. But definitely for sure, if you are curious about it, do your research. Figure out if it's something you want to try. If I do end up wanting to sell this stuff, probably just give the first batch away and just ask people for feedback. All right. So there's that. And here's the biggest one. Gonna keep him. That's how big he is. So I'm gonna keep him, turn him into like a walking stick or something like that. And I'll show you what I do with the rest of them. All right, so there's the patch that I harvested everything from. And I laid down the stalks. The other one in this area. This is a preliminary idea of where I might want to grow it. The other option is to go, let's see here, right in here and back here, move this tank because there's a lot more soil in this area than there is over there. Over there's we got rocks and stuff. Plus it's really hard dirt and should probably try to loosen it up somehow. Use a tiller or something like that. But anyways, there's that. The other option, I was saying before, is back in here because this is a lot of deep soil, and that would do really well there. And there you have it. Here in 6 to 8 weeks, I'll probably just leave it for 8 weeks. Here in about 8 weeks, I'll have some good tincture. I'm going to try it out myself, of course. It's the original thought anyways. But if you like this video and you want to see more, go and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. And share this with anybody else who might be interested in tinctures and mullein, and pretty much herbalism at all. And until next time, keep kicking up dust. Oh, shizzle.